and welcome back to your irregular Latvian lesson. The most common response to "Kā tev iet?" How are you? in Latvian is labi, good, or normāli, fine. But sometimes you're not fine. And you can't be a true Latvian if you don't know how to complain about it. Let's go! Kā tev iet? How are you? Grūti. Not to be confused with Groot, the tree from Guardians of the Galaxy, means difficult. And it by itself is an acceptable answer to Kā tev iet? Grūti. Difficult. But of course, you can always put some emphasis, like grūti, grūti, which means still and forever very difficult. Or no grūti, grūti, which means difficult, of course, but please acknowledge how brave I am for dealing with it. If nobody is asking, don't worry, you can still declare how difficult your life is by saying, man ir tik grūti, man iet grūti. It's difficult for me right now, either in a specific project that's not advancing or life in general. I am facing grūtības, difficulties. The contrast to grūti is viegli, easy. An important word to know so that you can blame others who have it easy by saying things like Tev nu gan viegli. You have it so easy, unlike me. Viegls also has a second meaning, which is lightweight, as opposed to heavy, which in Latvian is smags or smaga. Heavy metal, for example, in Latvian is smagais metāls, a music genre that I find very therapeutic when iet grūti pa dzīvi. You're in a difficult patch in your life. But hard rock should not be translated directly to Latvian, or else you're gonna make a total fool of yourself by asking people, where is the cietā akmeņa kafejnīca? Literally, the cafe of the hard stone. No, you mean to say, kur ir hard roka kafejnīca? Where is the hard rock cafe? Hard rock in Latvian stays hard rocks. Another important expression that you shouldn't translate directly to Latvian from English is a hard life. Cieta dzīve, no. Grūta dzīve, a difficult life. And if you know these two words, then you already know the subject matter of around 200 Dainas Latvian folk songs that apdzied, put into song the grūtības of the Latvian dzīve, the difficulties of Latvian life. And it turns out that the top 3 grūtākā dzīve, the most difficult life, according to number of Dainas dedicated to it, goes to number 3, Gans, the shepherd, number 2, Zirgs, the horsey, and with an overwhelming majority, Latviju sieva, the Latvian woman, especially a newlywed one. They, without a doubt, have it the most difficult, largely due to having to smagi strādāt, to work very hard, and having to deal with the svešā māte, the mother-in-law, from sveš, foreign, and māte, mother. Remember, back when Dainas were written, you had to move in right away with your husband and his family and face the dragon every day. But that's not the end of the grūtības for women. No. What do you think a grūta sieviete means? A difficult woman? Wrong. There are no such things as difficult women in Latvia. There's only complicated women. Sarežģīta sieviete. But grūta, when addressed to women or other types of female animals, in Latvian exclusively means pregnant. And if you want to make somebody pregnant, then literally you want to render them difficult. Padarīt grūtu. Although nowadays, because grūta and especially grūsna is mostly reserved for animals, there's another, more popular word for pregnant, and that is būt stāvoklī, or literally to be in the state, or to be in the situation. But pregnancy, the noun, still retains its grūt root, the root of the word, that is grūt, and it is grūtniecība, pregnancy, and a woman who is pregnant would be grūtniece. So there you have it. Latvian women are without a doubt the top grūtdienītes, a saliktenis from the word grūti, difficult, and dienas, days, or sērdienītes, from sēras, morning, and dienas, days. These words designate people with an undoubtedly difficult life, like these newlywed women, either due to poverty or being exploited by the dragon-in-law, or simply because they have moved so far away from their family that they have effectively become orphans. Now that's something to cause grūtsirdība, from grūti, difficult, and sirds, heart. Difficult-heartedness, the Latvian way of saying Megasadness, comes when you think about the fates of the sērdieņi, the orphans, otherwise known as bāreņi or bārabērni, from bārs and bērns, a child. Now, don't make the mistake I did and confuse bārs with a bar, although it is the same word, but in the context of orphans, bārs, the adjective, either coming from German bar or English bear, means abandoned, robbed, helpless. So that's the meaning of bārabērni, not that they were born during happy hour. Oof, I know! Grūti, grūši, even a small stylistic deviation, is to learn Latvian, such a sarežģīta valoda, a complicated language. Well, nothing more to do than to smagi nopūsties, to let out a heavy sigh, the international sign of difficulties and also of apgrūtinājums. Literally, when somebody puts difficulties around you, which is how Latvians imagine a burden. But when you ask somebody to do something and are disappointed with their reluctance, be sure to scold them by saying, "No, bet vai tad tik grūti? Is it really so hard?" Or, "Nu nav jau tik grūti. It is really not that hard to put the dishes in the dishwasher," for example. And for better effect, contrast it with how hard you're working putting food on the table. But again, not hard. Latvians work heavy, smagi strādāt, or ļoti smagi strādāt, to work very, very hard. Or the summum of effort, rauties melnās miesās. Literally, to pull yourself into black flesh. A peculiar expression that comes from working the black, rich soil of Latvia. Rauties melnās miesās means to work very, 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 very hard. The complete opposite of gurķoties, from gurķis, a cucumber, gurķoties or cucumbering for Latvians means to laze around doing absolutely nothing, which of course is a big no-no, huge crime in Latvia, as we hate with a passion lazy people. And yes, that includes ourselves sometimes, but nevertheless, if you ask a Latvian, "Why am I having so many problems in my life?" it is probably due to the fact that you are more or less or more lazy. Because Latvians say, "Plikam visur augsti," you're gonna be cold everywhere if you're naked, and slinkam visur grūti, it is difficult everywhere if you're lazy. Un nu, viss. Thank you for watching this video on Latvian difficulties. Have you had any difficulties in Latvia or learning Latvian? Let me know in the comments and hopefully we can make life easier for you. Let us not be lazy and head over to Patreon for your special lesson. Yes, we are continuing with our prepositions. You've had a long enough break, so let's jump back into it with the prepositions and some extra vocabulary. Patreons, thank you so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. Also, everyone, thanks so much for your messages throughout December and January. Those of you who've been following me on my travels, it's so lovely to talk to you, and also thank you for pulling me out somewhat out of my "don't look up too much news, the world is ending" depression. It's great to be back, so let us enjoy it, and I will see you soon, maybe. Bye!